Hello and welcome back to Not Just Another Fat Girl. This is Kristen, aka your resident fat girl, and today I am addressing a topic that honestly is very controversial within the plus size community. A lot of times people automatically assume that self love means that you're perfectly happy with where you are um, in your journey to health and um, that's kind of an incorrect assumption. Just because you choose to love yourself and to not beat yourself up for not being where you want to be body wise, just because there is a gap between who you are today and who you want to be, does not mean that you shouldn't love yourself. It actually is quite the opposite. You should love yourself all the more for being strong enough. Love your body for being strong enough to deal with any and all strain and stress that is put on it. Um, and that's something that I had to learn the hard way. But in general, today I wanted to focus on my weight loss. I, as a whole, honestly did not set out to lose weight on purpose. It's something where it really just kind of was a byproduct of certain choices that I made. Um, for those of you who don't know, I have hypothyroidism, I have PCOS, I have other hormonal imbalances. I also have autoimmune stuff, which hypothyroidism falls under an autoimmune disease. Um, I have inflammatory arthritis. For the longest time, I was taking prednisone on top of other medication. Um, and all of those things kind of led to where I was. I will not lie and say that I was making 100% healthy eating choices at the time when I was at my heaviest. But I definitely was not eating the equivalent to be the size that I was. And even my doctors agreed with that. Um, Now, honestly, I don't even see it sometimes. It's something where you just mentally you see yourself as the size that you were for so long. You can't see the little changes that happen along the way. Um, I don't have a scale. I don't own a scale. So I just went to the doctor about 2 weeks ago. And to be honest, I was pretty shocked by the number. I felt like I had started gaining weight. I thought I was gaining weight. Um, and it was quite the opposite. I am still losing weight. I don't know if that is a combination of finally finding the right dosage for my thyroid medication, um, if it is me being more active, because I am definitely more active than I was before. Moving to Tampa freed up some time for me. I'm constantly doing things around the apartment and so forth. Um, Eating, I won't lie to you, that's probably the number one reason why I did lose the weight that I did. Because when it comes to eating, I am horrible about consistency. I love my vegetables. I'm a veggie girl all the way. Um, I love salads. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that I like the oil and the lemon and the balsamic. No, 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 sweetie. I do my ranch dressing, but I load it up with a lot of veggies and stuff, and I don't drown it in ranch. Um, but honestly, I'm one where I can go all day without eating. It is 3 o'clock right now, and I have not eaten today. Yeah, I know that's bad. Um, there are some days where I have to almost force myself to eat. It is not the healthiest thing in the world, and I am well aware of that, and it's something that I'm working on. It's part of the reason why I said this is such a touchy topic for me and for those watching this, probably, honestly. I would not encourage anybody to lose weight this way in any way, shape, or form. I, in a lot of ways, wish that I didn't. Um, yeah, it's a little harder to talk about than I expected, because weight is such a personal thing. Your size is such a personal thing. And it's funny because it doesn't matter what size you are, people always judge. They always make assumptions. People look at me and they make assumptions that I am unhealthy, that I don't eat right, that I am this way because I binge eat 24/7 and eat every meal from McDonald's, and that's just not the case. Um, and it gets frustrating and upsetting because you can't judge a book by its cover. You definitely cannot. There are super thin people who are very unhealthy, and there are super obese people who are very unhealthy. Um, I make healthy choices now when it comes to what I eat, when I do eat, but I'm not perfect. And nobody is. And you do not have the right to judge someone based off of their size, based off of what you see them eating for one meal. You don't have the right to judge people, period. It's so many people have forgotten the golden rule, which is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I certainly don't want anybody standing over my shoulder and judging me every second of every day for every decision that I make. Um, and I certainly would not do the same to anybody else. It's it's not fair, to be honest with you, that society is so hung up on size. And it's funny because I have family members and friends who congratulate me for losing weight, who tell me that I am prettier, that I am more beautiful as I am now than I was before. And that's kind of the biggest slap in the face. It it's frustrating because I'm the same person inside as I am outside. Only difference is honestly the size of my clothes. That's it. And the size of my double chin, which I still very much have. um, People can be so insensitive, honestly. And I don't want to contribute to that. That's why if you go on my social media page, if you scroll back, I mean, obviously, even just looking at the snapshots of, I guess the default images for my videos, if you go back to when I first started recording, to now, you will see a difference in the, really, like, the fullness of my face, just in general. You see a difference. But I will never point it out. I will never be hashtagging weight loss or fitness or anything like that. Um, I do exercise. That's something that I did even at my heaviest, though. Um, at my heaviest, I did a 5K. It's, you really cannot judge a book by its cover. Um, I would not encourage you to start a weight loss journey just because of the pressure that you feel by others, honestly. I would encourage you, though, to come to love yourself, because one thing that I can hardcore attest to is that I treat myself far, far better loving myself completely, having no shame and no lack for confidence. I do move more. I do get out more. I live freely and abundantly and uninhibited and unrestrictedly. I am not ashamed to wear a two-piece bathing suit at the beach, at the pool, wherever. It's, and maybe, that's, maybe that's what everybody needs. Everybody in this world needs to reach a point where they are perfectly content with themselves. Because most of the time when people are picking on you, when they're pointing out your flaws, it's only a reflection of them. It's never a reflection of you. It's only a reflection of them and the insecurities that they harbor within. And essentially what you represent to them. My family, to my family, I represent their biggest fear, which is being super overweight. Because in their minds, that is the worst thing that they could do. That they could be. Not that they could be murderers or anything like that, or that they could be robbed or fired or anything. No. To them, the worst thing that can happen to them in life is them being overweight. So yeah. It's a very personal thing. It's not something that I like to talk about. It's not something that I like to proclaim, just because it's not something that I set out to do on purpose. It's something that was a byproduct of finding the right medication, of being more active than what I already was, and being so stressed and so preoccupied with everything that I'm doing that I neglect to eat sometimes, which is completely the opposite of what anybody should do. And in that sense, yeah, I am unhealthy. In the sense of I don't eat regularly like I should. And I am working on it. We are all a work in progress. All of us. And you know what? Comment if you want, but this is my own personal journey. This is my own personal issue. And it's something that nobody else can fix or do for me. And that's what everybody has to understand, is that if somebody wants to lose weight, if somebody wants to be different, truly, genuinely wants it, then they'll go after it. They'll pursue it. But they have to want it. It has to come from within them. So until that moment, if you are happy with where you are, be happy with where you are. Love yourself as you are. Embrace who you are. Have no shame in it. Don't let what other people say or think affect your quality of life. At the same time, I will say though, if your weight is affecting your quality of life, then just reflect a little bit. I'm not telling you to change. I'm just saying that the last thing that I want is for somebody to not enjoy this life. There's so much negativity. There are so many bad things that happen as is. Don't take away from the good. Don't subtract from the good because you are so preoccupied with fitting into a mold, with being a certain way, with looking a certain way. And don't allow your past choices to restrict you, to limit you going forward if it's something that truly matters to you. So yeah. I guess if you, I hope you guys found this video to be helpful, informative, I don't know. It's not one that I really plan to record, but I have had a few people make comments that left me feeling a tad uncomfortable. Not so much because of who I am or how I look or anything like that, but more so just because, again, they were focusing on losing weight as if it is the greatest thing in the world, as if that is now my number one accomplishment. Because I lost 90 something pounds, that is my number one accomplishment in life, and that's just not the case. It really isn't. So I guess thumbs up if you liked it. Feel free to comment. I mean, if you guys want more videos about weight stuff, just be specific on what you would like. I don't mind opening up, even though it's a little uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable just because I know it didn't happen because I was doing anything on purpose, and I know it didn't happen because I made the healthiest choices. I made healthier choices, but I didn't make the healthiest choice because not eating is not a healthy thing. So, and that's probably what stings the most in all of this. Every time somebody congratulates me, or every time somebody says, "Oh my gosh, you look so amazing now," you know. So, yeah. I guess subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, stay fabulous no matter what size you are, so long as you're happy with yourself.